Hi, and thanks for tuning in. I wanted to remind you of our Road to 1,000 Subscribers giveaway that we have going on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe and have a public profile, you'll be entered to win a free RX Smart Gear original jump rope. You'll get to pick the pattern of the handles, the color and weight of the cable, and you'll be getting one of the best-selling, best-performing jump ropes out there. Every time we hit a new century mark with the number of subscribers to our channel, we'll randomly select a new winner. And our friend Dave Newman is going to throw in a little something extra for each winner. So a special thanks to our sponsor, RX Smart Gear, to Dave Newman for being such a great partner, and to you for being a loyal listener. Good luck, and I hope you are our next winner.
Okay, can we talk about the most delicious protein bars ever made? Bear-Bells. These are caramel cashew. These are my go-to. They're my favorite. They have 20 grams of protein, no added sugar. The macros are phenomenal, like 200 calories, less than a handful of grams of sugar in the whole bar. Did I say 20 grams of protein? Yeah. They are delicious, like a treat. Can't believe that the macros are the way they are and that the nutrients are what they are because they taste like a candy bar. And I know my candy bars pretty well. I'm like a Snickers type of person. There's no aftertaste. They have so many flavors to choose from. If you're not a fan of the caramel cashew, they've got salty peanut. They have a hazelnut nougat. They've got a chocolate dough, a crispy fudge, cookies and cream. What am I missing? White chocolate almond. They're all delicious. I like all of them, but check them out at bearbells.com. Try some for yourself. You won't be sorry. They're delicious. Totally awesome.
Awesome.
So we are with Taylor Williamson, four-time CrossFit Games athlete with team. And this is going to be awesome. So my first question with you is like the most important question is you have a dachshund and there he is.
Yep.
Is it a he or she? I'm sorry.
Boy, it's Bruce.
Okay. Bruce.
Yep. He says hello.
Hey, Bruce.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he struggles with Zoom meetings. He really likes to be involved. So
Of course.
my little Rose is just gonna sit on the computer. So
Yeah. So I got a puppy this weekend and we introduced him on our roundtable last night. I'm named Walter.
nice.
And he was not keen to the camera.
He just seemed really sleepy. He's a baby puppy.
Yeah, he's
Really
only
tired.
7 weeks old.
What kind of dog is it?
It's part Yorkie and part Shih Tzu.
Okay.
He's tiny, but same coloring as Bruce. I love dogs that are named people names. I just
I do
think that's
too.
so adorable.
Kind of funny. It's always a little bit ironic.
Yeah. So how long have you had Bruce?
About a year and a half, almost 2 years now. Yeah, we got him when he was a puppy, so
And he's totally a part of the family?
completely. He runs the family.
So
How does he like Tennessee?
He loves Tennessee. Coming from Iowa, which is where he grew up, it's a lot colder. He's so little, he doesn't really tolerate the cold very well. But here, we're already at like 75, 80 degrees here and it's March. It's unbelievable.
Nice.
It's so nice. So he likes that a lot.
Yeah, I'm in Columbus and Kat's in Delaware.
Okay.
And so we're not in the 70s yet.
No,
Yeah.
but it's been
We
it's been
wish.
nice. Last couple of days we're in a little bit of a heat wave. I did have the rowers outside today and sent people running, so
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
So what's your favorite thing to do with Bruce?
Ooh, that's hard. We like dog parks. I know that's a pretty
Okay.
basic answer, but he always goes crazy and loves to just meet everybody. And it's always, for some reason, it's really entertaining to just stand around and watch dogs.
Yeah.
I haven't really figured it out. It's kind of weird, but you could do it for like hours. It's so fun.
So did you say you grew up in Iowa?
I grew up in Kansas, but I lived in Iowa for about 5 years before moving down here to Tennessee.
So
Yeah.
you grew up in Kansas and you were a volleyball player.
Yes.
And so your 5'9" height helps you with volleyball, makes it a little more challenging for CrossFit. So, so did you play volleyball from like a really young age or did you try every sport and that's just kind of what you settled on?
I definitely tried every sport, but I did play volleyball since, elementary school probably. Yeah, through college. So I dabbled in everything and I was decent at everything, but volleyball was kind of where my heart was for the longest, I'd say.
And what position did you play?
I was a middle and a little bit of right side, just depending. But I was tall enough and could jump high enough, honestly, was what it really was. Just being athletic to be able to kind of skirt around the height discrepancies.
And what was high school like in Kansas?
High school in Kansas. Well, I came from a kind of a unique city in Kansas. It was right next to Fort Riley, Junction City, Kansas. So we had a lot of like military population in and out. So it was probably a lot more diverse and just different than your typical, I think, Kansas high school that you would think of. So I was in a pretty big high school growing up.
Is the military what brought your family there, or?
Yeah, initially, but before I was born, my
Okay.
dad was already, I think he retired either a year or 2 years after I was born. So basically I didn't really have a whole lot of like direct contact with that, if that makes sense, in my own personal life. But
Yeah, and they just liked it so much they stayed.
yeah, my mom grew up there. So
Okay, very cool. And then you had a college scholarship.
yes.
And where did you play volleyball in college?
William Jewell College, small Division II in Kansas City. Yep.
Okay. And anybody who says anything about Kansas City, I have to ask, are you a fan of the Burn Ends?
I don't even know what that is. Oh, Burnt Ends. Got it. Yes.
Okay.
Talking sports or something.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
We always default back to food when there's a question. We like to eat.
Oh yeah. Big fan.
Yeah, I had to travel to Kansas City a lot for work. And I think I ate them Burn Ends for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, it's easy to do. That's for sure.
So I think I heard on a podcast somewhere that you actually got an academic scholarship as well as an athletic scholarship.
Yeah, actually, that's true. And I think generally, depending on what division sport you're looking at and probably how good you are too, you can make more academically than athletically for the whole as a population, I'd say. But yeah, I was academic and athletic.
And you studied biology?
I did. That was my undergrad. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then I think I heard that you actually decided to stop playing volleyball before you graduated.
Yeah, I did. I think just a combination of burnout and kind of this thing, CrossFit had kind of tweaked my interest a little bit. But yeah, I played for 3.5 years.
And you were doing CrossFit kind of all the way along just to kind of stay in shape for volleyball?
Yeah, just kind of dabbling, winter break, summer break, a little bit in between, but not enough to like really get into it, if that makes sense.
When did you first realize you could be good at it?
During college, I'd say. I kind of dabbled with some like local competitions and got my feet wet in different gyms and just kind of figuring out how things worked with CrossFit.
And so what came easiest for you?
Anything with a barbell, anything that was
Hey, we love barbells.
but not body weighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much time did you put into your gymnastics?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. No, I literally could not kick upside down to a wall. I'd never done anything like that in my life. Like that was terrifying to me. So that took like a long time to even feel comfortable. Okay, I'm upside down right now. This is wild. So, and I was, green banded pull-ups for months on end. Like I could not do a pull-up either. So I'd say, yeah, a lot.
I can relate to that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so then you finished college and you stayed at that college until graduation?
Yeah.
And what was your plan with the biology degree? Is it what's actually happening now?
Yeah, I did. Well, okay. I did kind of have a plan, but nothing specific. I knew I wanted to go on to do something afterward school wise, but, and I'm in PA school now. So that was kind of like on my list of options, but I didn't have like a specific, this needs to be my path. And I know with bio undergrad, pretty much you can just go work in a lab or be a teacher. And I didn't want to do either of those things. So I knew I needed to do more school after for sure.
So what kind of transpired in the next few years that made you realize you want to be a physician's assistant?
Well, honestly, the stars kind of aligned with my opportunity to move to Iowa to be on a CrossFit team there. And then I had a great opportunity there with an orthopedic surgeon that went to the gym. He hired me as a scribe. So I kind of got a lot of hands-on experience, a lot of clinical experience, and a lot of like good professional guidance, if that makes sense. So it was a really good time, both developing myself as a professional and, getting to do CrossFit for 4 or 5 years and get this great team experience and awesome games experiences. So, yeah.
so I actually work for the state of Ohio as a person who helps people find jobs, and we let people do that. We find companies that'll let them come in and kind of observe and see what it's all about,
Yeah.
to see if that's something they really want to do. So that's really cool that just kind of happened organically for you.
Yeah. No, it was a really good opportunity. It worked out amazingly well, I'd say.
And how long did you work for them?
I think 4.5 years.
Wow,
Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 4.5, 4.5. Yeah.
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And through that, you decided that medical field was definitely where you wanted to go.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you are now currently in PA school
hmm
in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how many hours a day is that?
Just depends on the day, roughly 8. I mean, I think you could probably equate it to a 40-hour work week, but then you have like studying and homework on top of that. So, I mean, it's kind of apples to oranges in terms of like how to compare it to a job, because everyone studies differently, everyone learns differently, everyone's different levels of like efficient, if that makes sense. So you
Right.
can learn quickly or learn slowly, you can relax or work really hard, but yeah, it's a lot of work. Long story short.
Yeah. So you're doing that and pretty much being a professional athlete at the same time.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. So,
Yeah.
so
Well, and I imagine that you're, with CrossFit and things needing to be, your movement's very efficient. I'm guessing that you're one of those efficient studiers, getting your work done kind of a person as well in terms of your academics.
Yeah, I think at this point, if I want to do both these things, I kind of have to be,
Yeah.
which is fine. I know I like have the ability to do that, but it's taxing. It's hard for sure. But at some point, if you make a goal, how to accomplish these goals, you just have to set out and do them, just with the right expectations in mind, if that makes sense.
and what kind of time management tools do you use to pull this all off?
A lot of planning ahead, a lot of correlating schedules and kind of looking, okay, well, this is I can have a gap here. I study better in the morning versus working out, so I'll study this morning so I don't have to spend 30 extra minutes trying to warm up for something that I'll be able to do more quickly in the afternoon. It's just a lot of thinking ahead, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
I never even thought about it like that. Like that in the morning you need more warm up because it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saving time by working out in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just a lot of like little tiny things like that to think about, that you can kind of pull 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. And then a lot of just like leaning on my fiance. He's really supportive and helps kind of like make things flow so that we can pull this off, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that was kind of the next part of it. On top of all of this, you just recently got engaged.
Yeah. Yeah.
So throw that into the fire with everything else.
Yeah.
So are you waiting for the wedding so you have time to plan, or are you throwing that into the
wedding is going to be next December between my didactic, which is when I'm like learning things in school, so classwork and clinicals. I think I have like a 3-week break, so we're going to have the wedding then. We did hire a wedding planner, and I am like, fortunately, I'm super chill about all that. I don't really have strong opinions about like, it has to be this specific color pink or anything. No, I don't really care. And Nick doesn't really either. So I think that's not going to be a huge stressor. At least I anticipate it won't be. Who knows?
So how long have you guys been together?
16, I think 3 years.
3 years.
3, I think 3. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you guys meet?
We met at Granite Games actually in 2016.
Is he an athlete?
He was an athlete there. He's been in several of the sanctionals. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kat was a judge at Granite Games.
Yeah, I have an epic picture of you and I. You're climbing a rope, and I'm down below looking like this with my hand up. So really good. That's 2019 it was.
Were you my judge for that ball over shoulder rope climb on?
Did you win that one? Was that the last event? Yeah, I was your judge and I was Brent's judge, because I remember both my athletes won, and you guys were so easy to judge because you move really well. So thank you.
We were like super, everyone was panicking about the standard I remember beforehand. just with the hip extension and not wanting to get called on no reps. And I remember I tried to make it really easy for judging, and you would have to, honestly. But I mean, I specifically remember I was like, oh, she was really good. Yeah.
Thanks. So were you. Couldn't have done it without you.
That's all blushing.
Yeah.
So you met him at Granite Games. Did he live anywhere near you, or was there no?
No, he lived in Michigan at the time, actually. And we met at Granite Games, and we didn't really talk for like 6 months. And then we kind of just started talking just online casually. I don't really know how it took off. But then we like met up at a couple different things, regionals, games. And then we dated distance for like 6 or 7 months or something, a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys really put the relationship to the test right off the bat.
Yeah. Which honestly is probably the way to do it, because if you're like dating in the same place and then you move away, I think it'd be a lot harder versus starting away. And then he eventually moved to Iowa. And then we moved here together. But yeah.
That's really great. And so
Yeah.
you said he's an athlete and he's done sanctionals as well.
Yeah. Yep. And then he's a coach as well. So he was the head coach at the gym I went to in Iowa. And then he now works for Proven with Tia and Shane.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, is that Coach Nick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
No? Yeah.
Now it's all making sense. So I got to ask, when you decided to pick a school in Tennessee, because you just started in September, right?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
was that intentional in terms of location? Were you sort of plotting anything with regard to the games? Was he in touch with Shane? Like, did any of this,
No.
was it any of it calculated like that?
On the radar. I was between a school here in Tennessee and a school in Phoenix, and I picked Tennessee because the weather seemed better.
Mhm.
And I liked the school better also, and I liked the start time better. So it was all just not even related to any of that, but it's all worked out really well as a
I
whole.
would say so. Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. That is crazy. So in all my research, I never connected that dot.
Yeah.
Really?
Coach Nick. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So cool. Learned something new today.
Yep.
So with all that, we'll kind of get into your career a little bit. So how did you get to OC3 Black? You finished college.
Mhm.
Did they recruit you to Iowa? Did you just happen to go there?
They recruited me. Yeah, it was, I think they were looking for a girl to fill in because they had an injury the previous year. So they were looking for their third girl at the time because it was teams of 6. So they had seen me at some local comps and reached out, and we had some visits, and it ended up working out. Yeah.
And so you've done teams of 6 and you've done teams of 4. Do you have a preference?
I like team of 4 better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's less busy. And you're more likely to have 4 people that are kind of within the same fitness level, if that makes sense. So I think it makes it more exciting all around for viewers and for just team members, and it gives you more opportunities for different sorts of WODs, I think.
Yeah, and it's got to help with communication because you're not trying to communicate with 6,
Yeah.
just 4.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys were a pretty big powerhouse for 4 years, 4 straight visits to the games. You were actually in my region, the central region. And so I worked security and I judged in that region. And so I got to see you guys up close and personal every year. And it
Cool.
was awesome to see you guys go head to head with Mayhem, because you really gave them a push almost every regional.
Yeah. Yep. Every time.
And then the invitational, that was awesome.
Rogue was a really good time. I enjoyed that event a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Mhm.
So you podium with OC3 Black in 18 and
Yes.
and take third. Did that meet your need, or were you itching for more?
I'd say definitely itching for more. Yeah.
Watching you compete, I can see that there's a fire that goes beyond third place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all good. I mean, it's great. It's an accomplishment, but I usually don't do things with the intent of doing less than being the best. So yeah, I mean, I want to win things, most of the things I do, I'd say.
college volleyball player, academic scholarship. Yeah. Now you're going to be a physician's assistant. Like, yeah, you're not half-assing anything.
No, exactly. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what was that experience with OC3 Black? You guys were together for 4 years.
Yeah, a lot. We were together for 4 years. Some exchanges here and there because people are moving out or people are moving in or whatever. But overall, I'd say the same, like, skeleton crew. It was fun. I learned a lot as an athlete. I learned a lot as just a person. And it's also interesting to see how much it makes a difference being together all the time and training all the time and how much that really matters versus just having a bunch of really fit individuals that don't know how to work well together. Like teams, there's something to be said about the power behind that. Just like knowing before they even talk about it, like, okay, she's going to break up at this rep because I've worked out with her so many times and she's not good at this movement. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can get a lot out of that.
And I think that's what was on display so much at those regionals is you guys were just like, you guys were all of the same mind.
Yeah.
And didn't need a lot of communication because you knew each other so well.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to ask, you and Andrea have been together a long time, longer than some marriages in this country.
Yeah.
And so what is that relationship like?
It's good. I'd say we're still together now. It's good. It's always nice to have, the push, I'd say. And we're just like oddly the same in so many things. Even just like daily workouts that we'll do. For example, like the other day, what was it? It was like 27, 21, 15, 9 of chest to bar and burpee over the bar. And I did it like a day later after her. And I was like, hey, I did this in 6:01. Why'd you do it? And she's like, I did it in 6:01. Just like literally this happens all the time. It's unbelievable. It's been happening for years. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of workout it is. We're just like the same athlete in a lot of different ways. And the things that we are different in, we kind of know what to expect. So you can kind of like, okay, well, it's a rope climb WOD, so maybe I'll take an extra one because I'm just a little bit better than her. Or it's a burpee thing, maybe she'll take a couple more. So it's nice to have someone that you know so well as an athlete. It just makes for easier communication, I'd say.
So you guys are synchro even when you're not together?
All the time, yeah.
That-
That's why we hate doing individual competitions against each other because it ends up being just like slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So how much do you guys compete during practice?
Most of the time when we're practicing, we'll say we're not, and then we'll end up trying to compete. Even if it's like a team workout, it's like, okay, well, I want my rounds to be a little faster than hers,
Yeah. So
yeah.
how do you reel that in? Or don't you?
I think it just depends on the day. Some days, you're feeling a little more beat up and okay, well, it's going to be okay if I don't win this or whatever, but no, you don't really reel it in. I'd say it's just a part of, and if you're constantly competing and constantly putting pressure on yourself to do better, I think it just makes you better as an athlete too.
Yeah. Did you have a question, Kat? I thought I
No,
stepped over you a second.
I was just going to ask about the team now with Mayhem. Obviously, you and Andrea have made the move and you're on that team now. Rich mentioned back in 2019 after the games, and the whole team really said that they barely felt like they worked out at the games, like afterwards. It wasn't, that big of a deal. And we all see just, the YouTube content that they put out there, how much they train.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, like, how much of a change has that been for you? Or is it pretty much in line with what you guys were used to prior?
I'd say it's pretty much in line with what we're used to. Definitely volume wise, intensity, I think you probably pick up a little bit more when you are in that team aspect. So volume wise, same as we're used to, intensity, give or take, but just having athletes around you that are either better than you or the same as you automatically pick it up a level. So same, but maybe just a little bit harder because you just go harder, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And how's your body holding up?
Pretty good. Pretty good overall. Yeah.
So I have one more Andrea question, and that is that you both did a half marathon.
Yeah.
And that was a competition as well?
Yeah, I say because I lost, but yeah, that was a competition and I lost.
And my favorite quote from your post was, "Did that, never doing it again."
No, nope, not a fan. Road race, I don't know, maybe it'd be different if it was a trail or just anything other than a road, but it just was really boring and really long.
Yeah, Kat and I are not fans of running.
Yeah.
I see no use for it, really.
She was in California. She had just got done with the testing crew or demo crew or whatever for the games. And they did that long trail run. And she texted me like a couple weeks later or whatever, like after the workouts came out, and she's like, yeah, it was really bad. Like I had to walk a lot. I'm pretty sure Christy beat me by like 20 minutes. Christy Ramos, she's really good at running. I was like, let's sign up for a half marathon. Let's just do it. So that's how that came about. Because I suck at running also. She's like, okay, great idea. And then ugh, hated it. Absolutely hated it.
That is making me laugh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Never a good
What,
idea.
what
running.
friends talk you into? I did a quarter marathon once because of my friends.
Yeah.
I swore I would, I am the Clydesdale. I am big. I'm a bigger athlete. And that just was awful. I couldn't walk for 4 days on a quarter marathon. So you mentioned earlier about that teams have that communication, and it's a lot easier when you do that. You actually did a super team in 2020 with Roy Gamboa and Travis Williams, and you
Mhm.
went to Dubai.
Yes.
So I have a couple questions about that. And what was the difference in doing a super team? And did you enjoy that, or do you like being on a team better?
Okay. So I think that super team prior to Dubai, I'm pretty sure we only got together one time. So one time of together on Worm, one time working synchro. I think it was like a 2 or 3 day weekend. So it was definitely different than anything we were used to in the past. I think I liked the idea of the super team better going into the season. Like Dubai, we worked on a lot of things, but we did have a lot of errors that were definitely avoidable had we like been together more as a team. So that just like costs seconds for reasons that are avoidable. That's hard because it's not your fitness, that's not your muscle fatigue. That's just like communication and knowing each other. So I guess when you have unforced errors like that, it's just a little bit less acceptable because they are avoidable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked the super team idea because then you could move forward in the season and kind of hone in on those things through other sanctionals or through practices. And I think the potential to be a super team that is a team was a really exciting idea. Had COVID not happened, obviously.
I love how we're just making up names now. Teams, super teams.
You get it.
We all understand what we're talking about, though.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
CrossFit always has a language of its own, and
Right.
only if you're in the sport you understand what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And so another facet of this is, Travis is kind of known as that guy that puts his foot on the pedal until all the gas is out, and then he's got nothing left.
Yeah.
Did he do that as part of the team?
Dude, we told him he couldn't.
Did he listen?
I think some things, and I think there's actually some give and take there because there are some lessons to be learned with like, okay, just go out hot and see what happens. And I think that's a good idea in some instances, but I think he does that every time, and that's not a thing you should do every time.
He's got one strategy.
Literally, yeah. Yeah. He does one thing. But I think when you have to synchro with other people, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't believe Roy keeps signing up to do these things with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were both at the fittest with Andrea too. Were you
Yep.
were you like in school and couldn't make that one, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in school.
I figured.
So was that your first time in Dubai?
That was my second.
Second?
Yeah.
So what is it like there? Like for us, those of us who have never gotten to experience that.
It's cool. It's different. It's very different than America. So all of the competition was like within a block or two radius of the hotel. So you stayed at the hotel and you could like walk to the venue, and there's like randomly like a little Irish village in between. So like a bunch of restaurants and stuff. I don't really know why it's Irish, but if you kind of left that a little area, you could kind of see a little bit more of the culture. The first year we went on like an excavation thing. So it was like camel rides and duning in the sands and all kinds of cool stuff. You can go to the big mall. but it's just a little bit of culture shock, I think, which is to be expected.
Were you guys viewed as sort of the women, especially like freaks of nature being there, like in terms of, because you're just so amazingly built and different looking than probably the locals?
Yeah, I guess, but not as much as you expect, because it's pretty like progressive there.
Okay.
But I think if you leave the city by 30 minutes an hour, it's like gonna be like that. Like you're gonna be looked at for even wearing shorts or like
Mhm.
short sleeves. Like women don't walk around in with their ankles showing kind of thing there. But
Wow.
in the city, you're pretty much fine. It's way
Yeah.
more progressive than other places.
It just seems like another planet to me, like the opulence and the ocean that close and the man-made islands and all that. It just seems like just crazy to me. I'd love to see it one time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. So now we're going to get to the rogue challenges. Someone has kind of dominated the rogue challenges thus far
Hmm.
by winning both the Echo Bike Challenge and the Sandbag Hug. So let's talk about the Echo Bike first. It blew my mind when you said that you were disappointed you couldn't fit it into one Instagram post, normal Instagram, because you did what, a 108. So
It
8
was
seconds shy of being a normal Instagram post.
A long 8 seconds. Long 8 seconds that was.
So how were your legs when you got off the bike?
I don't even know. I didn't even think I could feel my legs. My whole body was right there. I don't know. That's like that was not a fun event to do. That was not a fun thing at all. Like before, during, and after, just a lot of anxiety going into it. You just know how bad that's going to be. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you don't even like remember, like you went so dark that you don't even really remember the after effects.
Yeah. So I haven't told many people. I did it 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
I just didn't know how to do it, honestly. And I thought, because girls are going to be a little bit different than guys, 50 is a lot of calories for girls.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it would be like a little more endurance-y. So the only thing I changed between all 3 times is I just went out harder, and then I went out harder. And then the last time I did it, it was literally just an all out. I acted like I was doing 20 calories. So I did like a 20 cal pace and just did that as long as I could. So my first time was like 149, I think. So I was like, okay, I can probably get like in the 130s. The next one was 132. I was like, there's no way I can go faster than that. Like that's going to be the fastest time ever. Like I can't do better than that. And then I did it again with the like 20 calorie only mindset. And it was just because the calorie takes over exponentially. The faster you go, the faster it's
Right.
going to come up. It was worth, because you die a little bit at the end, but the faster part at the beginning was so much more worth it. Yeah.
I love how you say like, there's no way I can do faster. So I did it again.
You
You know.
just never know.
So at what
Wow.
point did you feel yourself like, I just have to hang on?
I think I looked at the monitor at 25, which is like a heartbreaking point, because it's like you're not anywhere close. And then I think I heard something around like 40. I think Nick said, you have 10 left. And then he said something like, don't give up. I'm just over there like, why would I give up at this point? Honest thing you could say, I'm not going to give up. Yeah. So I think like when you're at 40, you're almost there. You know what I mean? You did the hard part.
Oh, I think we've all felt that way at times where someone's like encouraging you to do something and you're like, duh,
That's
like
the
that's
dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
all right. So you win that. Then we do the sandbag hug, which may be one of the most amazing feats I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, wow.
I mean, did you win it by like 7 minutes or something ridiculous like that? 6 minutes?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
I have really long arms, so that's really helpful. And I'm strong too, so that's also really helpful. I don't know. It's a weird skill.
So there was a point where I think it was like 13 minutes in, you took one arm off the bag and shook it out and said, I just need a little shake. And my jaw dropped. And I think at that
Yeah.
point you still would have won.
yeah, you could have dropped it right then. Yeah.
And then you went 6 minutes longer.
Yeah, my right forearm was blowing up. Nothing else hurt. It was just my right forearm. It's like I gotta shake my arm out. So I took my arm off the bag, and Nick about dropped the phone. He was like, "What are you doing?" Because he's recording me. I was like, "No, my arm is really tired. Like my right arm specifically needs a break." It's like, "This is unreal."
You're holding a 150-pound sandbag
With one
with
arm.
one arm.
Yeah.
After holding on to it for 13 minutes, right? Not fresh.
And I think I heard you say, I just need a little shake.
Yeah.
I was blown away. You are amazing.
Just a weird skill. I really don't know.
That's right up there with Sam Briggs at the Rogue Invitational, doing like 6 more rounds than everybody else on that snatch workout.
Yeah. In 2020.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she killed that.
Yeah. So how did you do on the dead hang?
Dude, not good. That's not a skill of mine. Not good. I don't know. I think I did like 240 something. Like not good at all. But since then I've done so many dead hangs. Like I'm so mad. I'm so bad at that.
You're trying to get better.
Yeah.
No, have we seen anyone else publish a time that's like much longer than that?
Oh, I haven't looked because I don't want to know.
Okay.
I haven't looked at
So
the
you
news.
say you're terrible at it, but we still don't know that you didn't win it.
No, it's published. It's done. It ended
Oh,
up-
okay.
I think what Nick said is that I almost made the first page.
Oh, okay.
So no,
That's still not bad at a skill you're not good at.
I'm too big for that.
I still think you're a machine. So no matter what.
We're going to take a short break from our interview to tell you about our newest sponsor, Up Before You Coffee. They are an amazing coffee. It is delicious, has different little notes of chocolate and things like that. And it's really clean and crisp when you drink it in the morning. But they have a light roast. They also have a medium roast, as you can see there. We are so excited about this sponsorship. If you use Clydesdale 20, all caps, Clydesdale 20, you can get 20% off your order. Just go to upbeforeyou.com and order your coffee. It's delicious. You'll love it. So now we're going to talk about the Mayhem thing. So you went to school in Tennessee. No plans of the future other than becoming a physician's assistant. And at what point do you get reached out to become a member of Mayhem Freedom?
I had been kind of training at One Valley, which is Chase's gym. He's the other guy on the team, kind of off and on, more off than on with school. But before school, I was there a lot. So we kind of like knew it was maybe going to happen, maybe not, affiliate team. But I wasn't really super interested. I didn't have any details, and I just didn't really know much about it, to be honest. So I wasn't really super hadn't really thought much about it until Rich reached out like last week of December or so, I think. So, and then it kind of, planted a seed in my mind. I'm like, okay, this could actually work pretty well. We had to wait till the rules came out, obviously, to really have a good idea of what that meant, because no one really knew until the rules came out. But yeah, it wasn't until around the first of the year that we really kind of put things in play.
So what has that been like with hanging out with the Mayhem crew and the culture there? Is it different than what you've experienced before, or pretty much the same?
The same in a lot of ways, but also different in a lot of ways, just different groups of people. But at the end of the day, you get in, you work out, and the workouts themselves are pretty similar to the style of workout I think I'm used to. So some differences, but also some similarities. Yeah. It's all been super welcoming and it's been nice. I like everyone there.
So Haley's been there, and there's a lot of YouTube videos of you, Andrea, and her working out together.
Yeah.
And she's kind of fit too.
Oh yeah.
What has she added to the competition?
Oh yeah. She kicks our ass at everything. Pretty much. So good. And she's so young too. She's like half Andrea's age. Not really, but she's like, okay, what now? Okay, what now? And I'm over like, oh my God, we're doing more. Gotta calm down. But no, she definitely adds a lot to, it's different when you're like out there getting lapped. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's good though. It's a good push.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be a little bit weird. You are, and you've demonstrated with the Rogue Challenges that you can go to a place that a lot of athletes can't go to in your head, and you can kind of relax in that suffering. And that's something that Rich has been known for as well for a very long time. How dangerous is it to have more than one person like that on a team?
I think that's probably what makes a team good, or what makes an individual good. But to be able to have a team full of those kinds of people, I think you don't really have to worry too much about, at the end of the workout, are they going to give up on me? Or at the end of the workout, when things get hard, are they going to fall apart? Because you know that they'll always give their best effort, which might be bad. I mean, it might end up being bad. Like my burpees might die, but I'm going to give you everything I have. And that's all you can really ask for on a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a superhuman quality, for us mere mortals, to watch you guys do that. And I'm so excited to see how this turns out as a team, because I think while Rich has had other good people on his team, the mindset that you and Andrea have is just very different.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And so I'm just super excited to see what that translates into.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, and to think that Rich was, possibly ready to just sort of hang it up, and with the new rules and things not working his way, to go from that to, you guys might be the most dominant team that Mayhem's had in history, is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. It did work out pretty well for him.
It did.
So what is that pressure like now, right? How many teams have a hype video to announce who their roster is? You're with Mayhem now, so it's like they have a full media contingency covering you guys working out and practicing and doing all that stuff. What is that pressure like, and how do you deal with all of that at once?
It's definitely different having a camera in your face most of the time. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm there to do a job, and that's to work out as fast as I can. So I think you just kind of have to remember that, and not really think about like, oh no, I think I might be snotty, or oh no, my clothes don't match, or whatever people worry about. You know what I mean? You just have to kind of keep perspective and know that you're not gonna I'm not out there to win a beauty show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know Andrea is the same exact way. So I think that we handle the cameras well in regard to that. I think a lot of other, especially female athletes, will be a little more conscientious about making sure their hair looks perfect, or I don't want to do this movement because it might make me look bad on camera, or makeup between things. And we're just not quite that way.
Well, and it's kind of a good litmus test going into the competitive season where cameras are going to be the norm. Yeah. You guys are practicing with that atmosphere.
That's a really good point. Actually, I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't really make you think twice about it when you're on the floor and there's a cameraman running in front of you, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah. So I got to ask, has it impacted your followers on Instagram?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. A little bit. Yeah, I've gained a couple.
Yeah, I just, they're kind of a staple in the CrossFit world. You've been one of my favorite athletes for a long time, but I just didn't know if that gave an impact with being on YouTube all the time and the Instagram posts and all that stuff.
Yeah. I've never really been an athlete that's in it to get a lot of followers, or trying to create a specific brand or anything like that. I think just because I'm not really looking to do that as a career, I don't really want to monetize my Instagram. I want my Instagram to be full of things that make me smile. Even if it's not the thing that'll get the most likes. So that's always kind of been my approach to social media. So I don't think I have 1 million followers or anything, but I don't really care that much either. So yeah. Bruce
brings smiles.
A lot of Bruce. Yeah.
All right. So what does the future look like for you, Taylor?
Busy. Games training through, when is the games? August. So sticking with Team Mayhem, and then PA school through all of that. I am done with didactic in December, so no more classes. I'll be able to go to clinicals after that. So that's kind of what the immediate future looks like. Beyond that, I'm not really sure.
When will you be finished with practicals and all that? When will you have that PA certificate?
It's a 2.5 year program. I started last September, so it'll be about 2 years from now.
Okay, so you'll have one more game season if you choose to compete a second time with that school sort of as part of it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mhm.
I hadn't really thought beyond this year.
Sure.
And also with clinicals, I might be moving around because we get kind of stationed to different places, just depending on, I think, luck of the draw, really. But I don't really know what next year will look like yet. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
So I have one more Cookeville question for you. Have you been to Ralph's Donuts?
Yeah, actually, it's really good.
It is
Yeah.
so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was there for the Mayhem Classic, and that was our first stop. Oh man, there's not donuts like that all over the world, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Everyone talks about Ralph, so we had to check that out pretty early on.
Yeah. All
How
right.
far away are you from the gym?
About an hour and 20 from Mayhem, you mean?
Yeah.
Hour 20 or so, give or take.
So you're not there every day, right? I mean, you
No.
can't be.
Weekends. So I only have class Monday through Thursday. So usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Got it. Okay.
Well, we want to get into the fun questions with you, the rapid fire. And so we're going to hit those pretty quick. Just kind of whatever the first thing comes to your mind. So my first question for you is, what was your favorite Rogue challenge?
Ball hold for sure.
Ball
Yeah.
hold.
The
Because
bike
that's
hurts
just,
bad.
yeah, you're just natural. That's your natural strength.
Yeah. Yeah. It just didn't hurt like the bike hurt. I don't like the bike. And the hang thing I just sucked at. That wasn't fun.
Okay.
So let's talk about your Mayhem teammates a little bit. When you think about Rich and Chase and Andrea, who is the funniest?
Oh, probably Andrea. Yeah. She's just full of character. I don't know if she is trying to be funny, but she's fun to laugh with and at.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Who is always late or the least prompt?
A mix between Rich and Chase. I'd say Rich because he takes forever to warm up, like a really, really, really long time. So that's not really late, but that just is very slow, I think.
Like you're waiting on him a little bit.
Yeah. And then Chase tends to be a little bit on the late side in terms of showing up, but not routinely.
Okay. And he
Yeah.
has a new baby, right? Like a
Yeah.
brand new baby.
Pretty good excuse,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
Yeah.
And who eats the most?
Maybe me. Maybe.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so with school, do you have a favorite class that you're taking right now?
Right now, probably my clinical assessment class. So it's just kind of learning medicine. Right now we're doing eye stuff, but we just got out of like nose, throat. It just kind of goes through the body systems basically and teaches you common pathologies and how to treat them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
What's your favorite coffee drink?
Just depends on what time it is and I think how much caffeine I want. So like afternoons or, like lunchtime, more of a latte, but in the morning, it's more like business, like espresso shots or just like black coffee. Yeah.
And are you getting that at home or are you going out for that?
Both, but with Christmas, we decided to try to do more at home. We just got an espresso machine, which is like amazing. Yeah.
We asked Tasia that question, and she basically named every coffee drink as her favorite.
I love it. All right, so we're thinking about the open. There's one dumbbell is one of the requirements. Is there anything specific with one dumbbell that you're hoping to see in the open?
Anything. Yeah, more dumbbell, less body weight. I'd say more of anything with that one dumbbell is going to be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
The heavier, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's only going to be 35 pounds. Sorry. What's something about Andrea that we might be surprised to know about that she would be okay with you sharing?
Oh, that's so hard. I needed some prep for that one. Okay, well, she also has a wiener dog, but it is it's like a bigger, what is the mix? A Great Dane Wiener mix. Yeah, right. Doesn't
Oh,
work.
goodness.
That is a weird picture in my head.
Yep.
I hope the mom was the Great Dane.
I don't know. It's like an adopted dog, but they figured out what it was with like Google pictures and stuff. So I got my wiener dog first, and she copied me for the record. But yeah, we both have wiener dogs.
And her dog's name is
Annie.
another girl name. I love it.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
So what do you consider to be your greatest accomplishment so far in life?
Oh, that's so hard too. I don't know. There's a lot of factors. I don't know. I mean, one, my fiance, I think that it's pretty cool that I'm going to marry him. PA school is actually a huge accomplishment for me. Just because I had to work really hard to get in. I'm not like one of those photogenic memory type people. And I like took a weird route to get there. So I'm happy I ended up here. And then obviously all my like game stuff. It's a cool accomplishment too. But
So about your fiance, your picture of the engagement was on a bridge. Is there significance to that, where that took place?
Yeah, it was a bridge in Nashville. So I didn't
Now there
know-
is.
Now there is, exactly. I didn't know it was coming, obviously. But I just remember being like so hungry, and he had like reservations set up, but they were like, we got there 30 minutes early, and he wanted to like go walk on this bridge. And I was like, can we just maybe go to the bar? We'll get a drink. We'll get some table bread, something. Like, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. And he was very adamant about needing to go walk on the bridge. So it's like, okay, we'll go walk on the bridge. And then that's how that happened. So,
Yeah, it made for great pictures.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I know the answer to this, but would you ever consider competing as an individual in the
No,
future?
nope. I would not.
What is the factor behind that? You just like being on a team? You've always done team sports?
Yeah, those two things. Team's more fun. I just don't think I would enjoy individual, honestly. It just isn't.
Well, then you have to prioritize, the quality of life and what you enjoy. If you're not going to enjoy it, even if you're good at it, it's not going to matter, right?
It just wouldn't be worth the sacrifice that I would have to make to be good at it, or to be the best I could be anyway at it. Just time wise, and yeah, it just wouldn't be worth the energy to me anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of partner workouts way more than, or the team series more than the open. Like, I've always enjoyed the team aspect more, but I always, I like pushing for other people too. Like and sharing the glory.
Yeah, and that's always been one of Andrea's points too. Like, yeah, I could go do this workout individually, but probably if I have to do it with a partner, if I have a partner waiting on me, I'm just going to go harder, just because I don't like to let people down. I know they're waiting on me. Just the pressure to perform because you don't want to disappoint someone or do less than what they expect. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's just, it's different than, well, I'm only going to let myself down. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like the breaks. You get breaks.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about it.
Yeah,
So, last question here. What's the best piece of advice you've received?
oh man, that's really hard too.
Maybe from a coach, a teacher, parent. Or a piece of advice you've given, maybe?
Honestly, I think just this isn't like a short answer, but just to keep challenging yourself throughout life. And if you start to feel like you're I don't know, better than those around you, or not being challenged or not being pushed by whatever you're doing, just to like seek the next level. So to always continue to try to make yourself better, and I guess never be satisfied with where you're at. Even if you're like, you have to acknowledge accomplishments, honestly, but to just keep pushing your boundaries, because you're always able to do a little bit more than you think. So to just keep finding, I guess, higher limits to try to push. Yeah.
Well, Taylor, this has been a fun hour. You are a really interesting person. You've been one of my favorite athletes to watch since you came into the sport. As a Clydesdale, I like that grit and the toughness you show. And thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.